Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noah's in the gospel, bro. Lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, this is a article I found on the Daily Messenger. It's one of my news app articles. They send periodic updates for world events and what's going on in the world, so to speak. And I know lately we've been on this kind of dark winter tip as far as the climate weather and grid outages and, just possible cyber attacks, which is nothing more but the, U.S. engaging in these things, blaming them on rebel groups. Okay, we already know what this is all about. But also, natural gas shortage and cutting back on costs and etc. due to a limited supply of resources. All right, now this is from the Farmer's Almanac, which says how much snow will we get this winter, and this is what the old Farmer's Almanac predicts. Okay, it says here, will fall officially underway in New York. Many are curious what Mother Nature will deliver this winter. It says the 2022 Old Farmer's Almanac predicts a season of shivers this winter, punctuated with bone-chilling below average temperatures across most of the country. Okay, now when you go back into previous winter of this year, early 2021, I want to say roughly about February, you had that polar vortex for over 2 weeks, which sat smack dab in the middle of the Midwest for about 2 weeks. Very devastating, very crucial, very uncomfortable. Okay, people died in that. People lost power, and the crazy part about it is there was a complaint that went out because the rest of these particular provinces, like downtown Dallas, and places like that, they had power, but yet in the inner city they didn't have any power. So people thought that was kind of weird, some type of social experiment due to Texas wanting to succeed from the United States. So therefore, all of a sudden, they got hit with one of the highest energy crises in the nation, because Texas pretty much have their own particular independent, I believe, gas or like utility or something is independent that they don't go off the grid of the United States, but they have their own manufacturer, so to speak. And they stated that was like some type of psyop to get them to not succeed, so to speak, from the United States. It's different theories out there. But nonetheless, just living within that rigorous 2 week span, that was torture, man. Like I made mention, I got like 2 days wind of it. Then I went down to Florida for a couple of days. But when I came back, I believe we came back within the last day or so within it. Because, man, it was that bad. Like people were literally dying from carbon monoxide poisoning and being stuck in their vehicles without power, but trying to keep themselves warm. Now, if Esau Edom is much of a devil, then hey, he would do the same thing, because we know that the weather is ultimately controlled by the Most High, but he allows Esau to manipulate it on the left-hand side through a program called HARP, or cloud seeding, when they can actually control the weather to some degree. If you look up theories on Vietnam War, United States used different weather mechanisms to get control of the war, but yet they still lost it. They have this thing called global warming, but in fact, scientists are saying global cooling, but it's all manufactured through the left-hand side. Okay, so it says this coming winter could be one of the longest and coldest that we've seen in years, said Janice Stillman, editor of the Almanac, which has been published since 1792. Now, the thing of it is, with the midst of the pandemic, okay, the eviction moratorium has pretty much expired. People are losing jobs left and right because they don't want to take the jab. This could be a perfect way to get people to force them to comply to the NWO. Why not starve them out and freeze them to death? To the point that they said that people is going to be begging the government for help in these coming times, which the Bible predicts that as well as the time of Jacob's trouble. Like I believe that guy, I don't think it was Klaus Schwab, but basically, man, if somewhere of the Great Reset, they were speaking on that you will own nothing and will be happy about it. So this devil, man, he got some tricks up his sleeve, which is really the left-hand sinister side of the Most High, which left goes into sinistas, which means to be sinister or something that's evil. Okay, matter of fact, I can do a word search on the word sinister real quick. And sinister definition, sinister meaning. Okay, it says giving the impression of something harmful or evil or will happen. Okay, it says of on towards the left hand side. Okay, so that's what it means, the left. In the coat of arms and the bearer's point of view, the right is depicted. Okay, so a sinister person. Definition of threatens harm or misfortune. So Esau is very, very sinister, man, because that's his nature, that of being a devil. Okay, so it says here, still been said, higher than normal amounts of snow are expected in parts of New England and throughout the Ohio Valley and northern portions of the Deep South, along the tract from Montana south through the western Dakotas and into the northeastern Colorado into southeast New Mexico. There was no specific mention of New York. And, the crazy part about it is I've worked these harsh winters, man, when I was working for my last company. And I was working the harsh winters, man, and it wasn't no joke. Okay, and it appears that it's going to be this way, too. You know what I'm saying? Being out there in the brick cold, trying to get people's transportation up and running and getting roads clear. It's pretty strenuous, man. Especially, like I said, in the midst of this whole thing that's going down, people are going to beg to get that and to be back in the good graces of Esau Edom, because without his say-so, you can't live. So if you out there freezing on the bridge in 30 below weather, and he say what would solidify that is to go down here and get the hokey poke, you think people ain't going to comply to it? Hell yeah, people going to give in, because that's the whole thing, Hegelian dialectus. Pressure from above, pressure from beneath. It's like a floor and a wall caving in on you, man. Okay? It says, but the Old Farmer's Almanac website outlines a cold and snowy winter for sliver of western New York near Lake Erie, as well as the New York City area, and a cold and dry winter for most of the rest of the New York state. It says, according to the almanac, the prediction said that in the lower lakes region, which includes Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse, the winter's coldest temperatures are expected to mid to late November through most of December to January early into mid-February. But snowfall will be near normal in most areas, and the snowiest periods are expected to be late November and mid-December, early to mid-January, early to mid-February, and mid-March. Okay? Like I remember when I was living in Chicago years back, I remember it snowed in May. One of the longest winters we had on record. It got hot, then all of a sudden it started snowing again. Which is just the utmost inconvenient. So it says here, according to the almanac, here's the prediction for other parts of New York. It says Utica and Albany, both within the northeast region, winter will be colder than normal with near to below normal snowfall, which shows you that this shit is being controlled because, okay, if you're in a particular region, I mean, you do have instances where weather get more inclement than others, but if you in the same region, ain't no way in hell that the south side of Chicago in the metropolis area in Jake neighborhoods, you getting 30 feet of snow, but yet 5 miles north, you only getting 10 feet of snow. It don't even work. That don't even make any sense, man. Like out here in Missouri, right? You have something in the interstate, which they call the triangle. And then also you have what they call an interchange. Now, last year and the year before I was plowing snow, you can see in the clouds that it looks like it's they call it the weather machine. It look like it's something up there. It look like it's like a machine or something. And we understand that weather is diverse. It does what it does. But ultimately, they can control the weather, man, because within that one reason of the interchange and the triangle, which is heavily surrounded by jakes, it was appeared to be this light in the sky, man, but everywhere else was just kind of grim and clear. I'm like, that shit don't make sense, man. So you just never know with these devils. But it says here in Elmira, in Binghamton, and Ithaca, all parts of the Appalachian region winter will be colder and drier than normal. It says with near normal snowfall. The coldest periods are expected to be in early, mid, and late December through much of January and early and mid-February. And the snowiest periods are predicted to be in early December, early January, and mid-February. Okay? And we know the Midwest is going to get swarm with winter, with this crazy ass weather, But like I said, man, this is all the judgment of Yahweh Bashim and Shai, and we're gonna have to suffer through it, man. Okay, so this is the book of Matthew 24, and I'm gonna start at verses 20. It says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, either on a Shabbat day or the Sabbath day." Now let's look up winter in the Greek lexicon and see what it gives us. All right.
Strong's G 5494. Chaimon. Chaimon.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's the Greek word for winter, right? It says winter, stormy or rainy weather, a tempest, winter, and winter season. All right, so it's exactly what it says. Yahweh Shai said it. He said, "For then shall be great tribulation, such it was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no ever shall be." Meaning that this is the worst time of human suffering. So you're gonna have exceptionally hot weather, okay, scorching heat, which we did this summer. This summer was pretty hot, like the scriptures go into in the Revelation about the angels that was given the go ahead to pour out the vials to scorch men with unscatable heat. That's going into this crazy weather, being 110 degrees in certain areas. Texas get up to 115 degrees, no cloud in the sky, man. People dropping dead from heat exhaustion, and they expect for you to work in this shit. Esau is a true devil. And it says, "And except those days should be shortened, there no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened." So the Most High is going to speed time up. Prime example, right? We got another Shabbat coming up next week. I'm like, damn, we just entered the Shabbat this month, but time is flying. But it appears those weekend Shabbats be 5 to 6 weeks, but the regular Shabbats seems to be 2 weeks because time is speeding up. You know what I'm saying? Like already, we just had 3 high holy days of this month. The Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles, and also we had the blowing memorial of trumpets, which each brother should observe that through the Spirit or however they did it. But nonetheless, man, the Lord is going to shorten the days because of this sad situation. And on top of that, you're going to have mid-chaos. They may try to round people up and throw them in detention centers, which in this case, a detention center would probably be your best bet before you being homeless. But even then, it came out that in those detention centers, as far as humanitarian is concerned, they're at bare minimum. They're not exceeding the standards of living. They're at the bare minimum, meaning that, hey, they may have mold, of course, the mice, rats, roaches, darkness, corroded pipes. They're not upkeeping. It's not going to be the love boat in the FEMA camp. You may be thrown in with 300-400 people. Y'all might be forced to share one bathroom, man. Okay, the humanitarian aspect of it is going to be there of a low level, because the thing about being in the camps is not for convenience. So this is the book of Job 37, and I'm gonna start at let's go with verses 1. It says, "At this also my heart trembleth and is moved out of his place, but hear attentively the noise of his voice and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directed it under the whole heaven, and his lightning into the ends of the earth. And after a voice roared, he thundered with the voice of his excellency, and he would not stay them when his voice is heard." Verse 5, it says, "The power thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doth he, which we cannot comprehend," meaning the ways of the Most High is above our comprehension. They have things in the earth that we can't begin to fathom. Like the Most High said, we only scratching the surface of the wickedness. We're not even plunging it to the depths. The things we see, the Most High sees on a far greater scale, because guess what? None of our brothers have access to underground military bases, which is known as DUMBs. We don't know what's going on in outer space, or we don't know what's going on in the middle of the earth where these devils are hiding. I have no clue. That's why they said the Most High searches the reins of men's hearts. He tried men. He searches the reins. He knows what's going on. That's why the scriptures say that his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, because the angels see in everything. They see things we don't see. So Esau's wickedness is way beyond what we can believe. We're just getting the surface level of that. All right. It says here, "For he said to the snow, be thou on the earth, and likewise the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength." So overall, the Most High is really controlling all things. He's allowed Esau to come up with adventures like harp and certain weather manipulations, cloud seeding, which they're spraying moisture and barium oxide into the clouds to create moisture and rain and snow in certain areas. all because he's destroyed the ecosystem, because he's not tilling the earth properly. So everything, the seasons would be out of whack. If he didn't do any type of manipulation shit, we would probably have the winter and the summer and the summer and the winter. Because that's how backwards this man is. He's destroyed everything. Okay? It says here, to the great reign of his strength, he sealeth up the hand of every man, that all men may know his work. Then the beasts go into dens and remain in their places. But out of the south cometh the whirlwind, because in the south you have a lot, in the Midwest as well, you have a lot of tornadoes, a lot of hurricanes. And cold out of the north, okay? Now you go to North America, which is America, Canada, the Arctic region, fucking Alaska, Chicago, Minnesota. Minnesota is a very cold state. It's very cold in Minnesota, Colorado, Montana, Detroit, those northern states, as they say, is closer to the North Pole. That's where you get that Arctic weather from. So in Chicago, that's why you have brick temperatures in the cold, man. And I take my hat off to them brothers that be out there prophesying in that shit, man, because it's truly cold, man. Like that winter we had this year, like for 2 weeks, that cold, that's how on average it is in Chicago, man. Okay, in the wintertime. And I remember being out there prophesying in that shit. Totally unbearable, but the spirit, was with us. But it says, out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. But by the breath of the Most High, frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightening. Okay. And also by watering he wearieth the thick cloud, and he scattereth his bright cloud, and is turned round about by his counsels. What's his counsels? The angels, which proves that the angels are in control, that the Most High gave them over the elements, man. Like when you see thunderstorms, tornadoes, I've always figured that the thunderstorms, when you see them dark clouds and the lightning, I always figured those were from the chariots. You can look up on Google. I forgot the type of clouds they called it, but you can look on certain websites and you can see how the cloud looks like a giant ship. And I've always thought that. I said, man, these thunderstorms got to come from the chariots themselves. Because if you look at a lightning bolt, it's nothing but a laser, concentrated fire. And if you look at lightning, it's very concentrated. It hits certain targets, but it's focused on that. They say, well, lightning randomly strikes. No, lightning hits your ass because it was meant to hit you. Those are very calculated strikes. And sometimes those lightning bolts be red, green, blue, orange, all types of colors. So it makes a lot of sense, But it says here, it is turned around by his counsels that they may do. That is turned around by his counsels that they may do whatsoever he commanded them upon the face of the world and the earth. And he caused it to come, whether for correction or for his hand or for mercy. Okay, so it all can be for particular reasons. It's a balance. It could be to judge you, to correct you, because in some cases the Most High will not give you rain in due season because it's something that you're going off on. Like it tells you in the kingdom, man, if the nations don't come up, keep the Feast of Tabernacles or the commandments that we command them to keep, we was going to shut up rain for a season if they rebel. Okay, and it's ultimately for their correction. And it says, and he hearkened unto this, O Job, stand still and consider the wondrous works. Okay. I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm just jumping around a little bit. Yep. 22. It says, for fair weather coming out of the north, which the Most High is terrible majesty. Okay. So that's the point I wanted to make on that. This whole dark winter thing, it appears to be coming sooner than we think. So, hey, we'll see. Lord's will, he have mercy on the hopeful elect. Lord's will, Esau does what he does, while people out here getting judged and jacked up. May Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai be with us. Until the next lesson, Shalom and the Bible Ball.